Hey there YouTube, Chris for the Handyguard channel, and I just came across this quote that I want to share with you where it sounds like Abraham Lincoln is calling bankers a bunch of bastards. I could not agree more. Well, here's the quote that's up on the screen. Banking was conceived in iniquity and born in sin. Sounds like bastards to me. Bankers own the earth. Take it away from them, but leave them the power to create money, and with the flick of a pen, they will create enough money to buy it back again. Take this great power away from them, and all great fortunes, like mine, will disappear. And they ought to disappear, for then this would be a better and happier world to live in. But if you want to continue to be the slaves of the bankers and pay the cost of your own slavery, then let bankers continue to create money and control credit. Abraham Lincoln. Let's look at that statement for just a couple of minutes. Yeah, he's calling them something pretty low down, whether it's a bastard or just something nasty, born in sin. He admits that the bankers own the earth, and we can certainly see that's true in our present day, just as it was in his day. But even if you took the earth away from them and left them the power to create what they call money, this fiat currency, they always use paper. They like something they can counterfeit. They just flick a pen or push the print button, or nowadays type in a digital entry, and poof, out of nowhere, this magical thing they call money appears. But in reality, it's debt that they create. They create credit. And another word for credit is a four-letter word, debt. So they just create enough debt to buy it all back again. Now, if you took that power away from them, all the billionaires and millionaires and people who profited handsomely from their ability, that is, the bankers' ability to create this so-called money out of thin air, all their fortunes would go poof, along with the bankers' ability to create more debt. Abraham Lincoln thought that's the way it should be, that we'd have a far better and happier world to live in. No shit, Sherlock. Look what we got now. Rule by the rich, rule by the plutocracy, the corporate oligarchs, the money changers who own the banking system, and our government. Look at the biggest campaign contributions in most of these politicians' funds that gets them elected. And you will find names like Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, etc. right at the top with the largest amounts, which makes those politicians beholden to them, who are really their masters, which is why they don't listen to us. They listen to the banksters and the money changers. So Lincoln wraps it up with the last sentence. This one should really sink in. You know, with all of this division that we have in our country over former slavery, no one seems to notice the giant bankster money changer elephant in the room with us. So read this statement with me. But if you want to continue to be the slaves of the bankers and pay the cost of your own slavery, then let the bankers continue to create money and control credit, or debt. So not only are we the slaves of the bankers, we have to borrow money from them to buy things, but we're paying for the cost of that slavery with what has always been the bankers' game, interest or usury, where they create something out of nothing, convince you to take it on in the form of a debt that now you owe them. You have to pay them back for what they made up out of thin air, plus interest. Such a game, such a scam. So if we let them keep doing this, then we as a people deserve to be their slaves. So all you people that are all up in arms about the Confederate battle flag, distraction, while they pass the Pacific Trade Organization, the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a monstrous bill in secret that Obama and all these other these government traitors have sold us down the river yet again to the bankers and the corporations. You need to wake up. You are slaves to the bankers, and you have been for generations. I don't care what skin color you have or what your claim to your ancestors. My ancestors never owned slaves, so I cannot own up for anything that they didn't do. Leave me out of that psychobabble. But pay attention to the one you're in now. The bankers have bought you with stuff they made up out of thin air. You belong to them. You're their slaves. And you're paying for it. You're paying them to do it. Wake up, people. Sharpen up a pitchfork. The Occupy Wall Street movement had the right idea. They just didn't carry enough pitchforks, because that's what ought to happen to the bankers. Rode out of town, on a rail, straight to prison at the end of a pitchfork, or a million pitchforks. That's it for Chris from the Handegard channel for today. I'm going to sharpen up my pitchfork.